So this your boy Karl Kirk coming back to you again. So the first time we spoke to you about loving yourself. So I hope you people have taken into mind what I've told you guys to think about and what I told you guys to do. So if you're loving yourself, you've learned to go out by yourself, you learn to cut off those friendships that have been holding us back. Then the second thing that we brought to you guys is that we wanted you to start looking at what goals you wanted to live in life. So we know that when you're talking about reaching a goal, there are going to be a lot of things that are going to come in your life that are going to get you off schedule, that are going to get you unfocused. So that's what I want to continue with, is talking about our goals. So how do we move past the point of just writing our goals down and not ending up the same place where we've been all of our lives, where we haven't completed those goals, where we haven't found ourselves finishing those goals, where we stepped back and got caught up in doing other things, we fell in love, other things. So I want to talk about those things. First thing again I want to talk about is falling in love. When we fall in love, when we decide to get in a relationship with another person, that is the biggest thing that I found out that will take us off of our game. I don't care where you headed in life, when you start to get connected in a relationship, before you're ready to be in a relationship, then you begin to fall off. I want to talk about that. So let's say, for instance, you're going to be an attorney and you got to go to school, you got to take your LSAT, you got to get in. There's so many things that you have to accomplish. But when you're accomplishing those things, or you're working towards those things, the first thing that begins to happen is you start to meet distractions. Life is like that. Any goal that you're planning on reaching, the initial thing that is always going to happen in your life is you're going to start to run into distractions. The main distraction is relationships. What I've already told you is that you're learning to love yourself. Well, not only do you learn to love yourself, you learn to first take care of yourself. They have a funny thing that they tell you on the airplane, that if for any reason the cabin begins to lose oxygen, they tell you to first put on your mask before you help anybody else put on their mask. Why? Because if you're not able and you don't have the strength to do the thing that you want to do, which is helping somebody else, then that makes two liabilities as opposed to one liability. So this is what you have to do. We have to wait on relationships. When we get to a point where we're healthy and we love ourselves and we know the things that we like, then what you can do is you can begin to have friendships. But those friendships have to be healthy, and those friendships have to be placed in all the right places. Again, like I was saying, if you're going to law school. So if you're going to law school, it's good to be connected with other law students. Why? Because they would be able to understand the things that you're going through while you're going through law school. They'll understand the extra studying you're doing. They'll understand a lot of things you're going through. Now, all the same, you have to limit, because everybody who goes to school, I don't care what school they're in, medical school, law school, everybody's not there for the same purpose. So what you have to do is you have to be careful with the people that you surround yourself with. But if you're in law school, you want to hang out with other law students who are currently in law school, preferably in the same law school you're in. Because what happens is when we become friends with our classmates, we're able to work together, we're able to understand each other, we have similarities. Well, you want to take that same concept and apply it to everything you're doing in life, with the exception if you're trying to come out of something. So let's say you're working at McDonald's, you're working in a department store, and you're trying to get yourself out of there. Well, you want to maintain limited time with those individuals if they're trying to get you to stay where you are. Now, if they're encouraging you, you actually want to get closer to those people. It's quite possible that some people, despite them not having the same education you have, despite not having the same background, despite not being in your same economic status, you can truly get encouraged by people who may not be striving for the same things you're striving for. You do still need those people in your corner. So you need somebody who's familiar or going through a familiar things that you're going through, but then also you need people who just encourage. And basically that's what those people do well. They're great encouragers. So you always need great encouragers in your life. Number 3, what other people you need? You don't have no choice, but you got to be around your family, right? So when you're around your family though, you want to limit the time that you're working with your family while you're working through things. So again, if you're going through school, if you're working on a business, you have to limit and cut back time that you maybe used to hang out with your family. No more hanging out on the weekend, drinking, all those things. They're not going to get us where we're trying to go. You have to really put in your mind all the things that are taking place in the past to cause you not to succeed in the things that you're trying to do in your life. So when I look at things, I start to picture in my mind, okay, this is what I believe I can do. What is it going to take to get there? Just to give you some examples. For me, I'm working on my own clothing line. So I hope you guys soon will get to see my own clothing line. But there's a lot of things involved into learning how to be in fashion, how to create fashion, how to do design. I had to find a designer to design the things that I like. I had to find a manufacturer to design my design. So those are things I had to do, and I've successfully done those things, and you're going to get to see those things on it. I'm going to post a website, and I'm going to post, the new clothes that I've made. I've made something that's never been made before, if you can believe that. If you can believe that somebody can make a clothing item that has never been created before, right? But I've successfully done that. There's some other things that I want to do in my life. I wanted to write books. So I've written books now, and I've actually dropped 2 different books just this week alone. And I believe that both of those books eventually would do well, but one book is really doing well, and I've even made the audio book of it. But those are things that I've wanted to do for so long, and I had to go back in my life and look and see, why is it that I had not accomplished those particular things? And now I realize what it is. I've allowed certain people in my inner circle to have such a great effect and have such a strong bearing on my life that I made up in my mind that those things and hanging with those people were more important than fulfilling my dreams. Now, don't misunderstand what I'm saying. I know that we still want to be around family. We still want to have friends. But what we have to do is we have to be careful in what we're doing and where we're doing it and who we're doing it with if we want to truly accomplish our dreams in this life. So you've written down your goals. Like I said again, this is with your boy Karl Kirk. I want you to share your dreams with me. I want you to begin to trust me with your dreams. And I want to help you build a plan to successfully fulfill those dreams, because those dreams are important because you dreamed them. But they can't come to pass if we don't work towards them. The crazy thing about dreams are they always seem impossible until we start walking towards them. When we start walking towards our dreams, we begin to see things change. Even for me, I'm hoping one day that I'm able to go and motivate people all over the world, that I'm able to speak to people all over the world. Well, in order for me to do that, I had to sit here and start making videos. I had to start working with people. I had to start working with people who know how to use video cameras, working with people who know how to edit. And what happens when you do that is that you begin to move toward the dreams that you have. When we're not moving toward the dreams that we have, then we're moving towards things that are going to cause ultimately failure in our life. And when we fail so many times, we begin to just sob in our failure. It's those times when we begin to be attracted to addictions. Most of the time we're attracted to addictions because we're not living our dream. When you're living your dream, your whole world, your whole atmosphere looks different, feels different, smells different. It's just different. And those are the things that I really want you to focus on. Those are the things that I want you to accomplish before you leave this earth. So what is it that we have to do? We have to be goal-oriented. We have to focus on our goals every day. How often do you want to look at your goals? Every day. There's something very amazing. I was listening to Steve Harvey. And when Steve Harvey was talking about how he went through and he was basically homeless, living in out of his car, fishing to even eat, which is amazing just to hear his story. But one amazing thing he said is that he was about to give up on his dream when this lady took him out to to go out and actually do a comedy event. And after that comedy event, he said that's when he knew that he had to do what he had to do. But what amazed me most about Steve Harvey was something he said. Steve Harvey talked about his 300 list. And on his 300 list, he wrote all these things that he's believing God for, that he's praying about every day, these things that he's in hope for. So what I want you to do today is, because I have my 300 list, and I'm so amazed daily just how many things are coming to pass on my 300 list. But this is what I found out, is that when we begin to focus in on something, we have to begin to actually actively work towards those things. Now imagine if I wanted a book, I want to write a book, right? Well, the first thing I have to do is begin to write the book. So yeah, there's going to be times where maybe I get writer's block. There's going to be times where I are tired, but at the same time, I have to keep putting myself, keep trying to refocus and pushing through. And before I knew it, I was writing books all over the place. I'm even working on a children's book right now. And I'm believing I'm going to finish it. I'm believing I got a good illustrator. I got a good editor. I got a good publisher. I figured all of those pieces out, and I'm going to drop that book. And not only am I going to drop that book, but I know it's going to take work to sell the book. So I'm going to go to book signings. I'm going to go to different things. And I'm going to push myself to do the right thing to make sure that that book is successful. Many times we'll start something, whether it's art, whether it's playing a sport, and what we'll do is sometimes we'll get into some type of obstacles in our life. Those are the times where we give up. You can't give up. You got to get up. Remember what I've always said. You got to remember you got to get up. You always got to keep getting up, because there is always going to be things in your life that are going to knock you down. And it's okay, because when those things begin to knock you down, you have to make it up in your mind that you're going to get refocused, and you're going to transfigure your mind to thinking differently from what you're thinking right now. When we think the wrong way, it has a negative effect on us. You know, I listen to people always beating up on Joel Osteen. But one thing I realized when I've been successful in my life is because I had hope that I was going to be successful in those areas. When you just come to a point in your life, which I've heard a lot of people say, well, you know, it may be good, it may be bad, it's just what it is. And that's never true. The truth of the matter is, yeah, it's God's will, whatever happens, but you still have to get up, you still have to fight, you still have to walk towards the goals that you have. The worst thing I said is to die as somebody else. Many of us, we're stuck in a job, we're stuck in even in a business, sometimes businesses that we really don't want to be in, we really don't want to do. And we're trying to find out why those things aren't working out for us. There's something that burns in you, and when that thing burns in you, you won't be able to sleep without just giving it some type of attention. And that thing will be joy to you, even though it's the way that you create finances, it's the way that you deal with people, it's the way that you help people, it's the way you get customers. That thing that you do great in your life, you can do well on it. What you cannot do is go tell your dreams to everybody. When you go tell your dreams to everybody, that will never work. It will never work. So this is your boy Karl Kirk, and I'm trying to tell you that we're moving to this next level. We've talked about loving yourself first. We talked about getting your goals. Now we're talking about the major thing that keeps us from getting our goals, and that's bad relationships. Let's maintain our relationships around the area where our dreams are. If we do that, we'll see ourselves grow and succeed. But I need you to grow up. I need you to change. I need you to be motivated. So like I always tell you, get up, get up, get up.